Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah. It's fucking cold
Yeah.
in here, man.
Let's go. Yeah.
The game is a sport and we causing a scene. We bout to kick it. If you been waiting on me to serve these raps, I'ma tip it. So the scale can't handle my bars, it's too heavy and it's vivid. The numbers going up, scatter wire, ain't no limit. There ain't no limit. There ain't no limit. There ain't no limit. Ain't no limit. Ain't no limit. There ain't no limit. 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 Ain't no limit.
Okay.
Yeah, you can just say something.
Hi, my name is Saidy Breezy. Well, now that
Hello.
hi,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Sharp. A little bit,
No.
nervous,
no.
but
No, please. I wanna only never say nah. No.
Ring, sharp. Dumela. We are back on another episode of More Than Just a Game. Kenale Saidy vandaag. Ke kopa we introduce
Okay.
officially.
Okay. Hi guys. Kina Saidy Breezy. Kina Saidy Brown. I am an HIV activist and that's it. The thing is I'm not even cool. I don't know why I'm here.
Yeah, she'll know why she's here.
Don't know why I'm here.
Ushapo Uzi.
Get sharp. We're not sharp.
Naka sharp. With the episode of Andagane. As much as you'd say you don't know why you're here, people would think that this is a hip hop. What?
Yes,
Well, it sounds, looks, and feels like one.
it does.
Ne?
Yeah.
But it's not there's no, like, the intention behind it is not how it looks.
Okay.
Because I'm only branding it like that because I am a hip hop head. And,
It's who you are.
I make music and whatnot. But it's not really something, say, like, it's intended to achieve that. Because there's more to life than just that.
That's true.
And that's kind of part of the reason of why you're here.
Okay.
It's not the actual reason, but you'll see it as the podcast grows.
Okay.
Right? And yeah, so
So we can agree or I'm cool. I want you to say
you
it.
are
Okay.
like very
All right.
flipping cool.
Okay. All right.
So tell me, how was it finding out that you were HIV positive at 14?
Yeah. So I was in grade 10, right? And when you're in
14, grade 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Leave it. It's fine. So I was in grade 10 there.
Yeah.
And obviously when you're in grade 10, you already know some stuff about HIV. You know there are different ways of getting HIV. You know all these things, right?
Because they teach you that.
Yeah, it was totally Modona, I guess, to know stuff. But also when you're in grade 10, you're still naive enough to think, yeah, I know all these other ways, but there's that one that we all speak about, right?
That you think you wouldn't catch it through.
Yes,
you're
because
that young
I'm 14, I'm not dating, I'm not doing nothing. So I'm just like, of course I'm going to have an HIV test because it's not going to happen. And I'm going to do it just to sound smart. And just say, I had an HIV test. Now I know my HIV status. And that is how I found out at a school trip. And of course, it completely changed my life, right? I was very scared. But I think the most dominant feeling or emotion I remember when I remember that day is pure confusion. Right? I just kept on saying, I'm just 14. I didn't do anything.
Like, cause what?
Yeah.
That's a lot of emotional damage to happen at
once. At once.
And to even have the equipment mentally to handle that as a child. Like,
Yeah.
I wonder what the fuck you were going through.
It was really hard. Also, think of this. It's a school trip. I am in there. Obviously, it's not the one, but literally just outside the door, there are my friends. Not necessarily my friends, but like the people I was at this thing with.
Yeah.
So I couldn't even cry because at 14, I was already just saying, I can't cry now because I'm going to walk out and people will know my status. So I didn't even cry.
At that moment.
I didn't even
So you're
cry.
already making decisions.
Right there.
What the fuck?
Right, I was just like, I'm not crying. I'm not doing anything. I'm just going to walk out and...
Saidy. And you handled it well.
I did.
Wow.
I got out and I said my results were positive. We were all kids, so they were just like... And that is just how I then went on to keep it as a secret for the next 6 months after that.
How what happened?
Nothing. So on my way home, I couldn't wait to get home. I wanted to get home and tell my aunt, because I'm very close with my aunt. She's my mom, right? So I also, on our way home, I was just thinking, and I don't know.
Yes.
Right.
Because this one way.
There's one way. Also because HIV is not something that we think it's so close to home. So even when I could think, but there are so many other different ways, I'm like, but it can't be from my parents. But I'm just like, it can't be that. Yeah, so I was also scared of that. So
because of the pedestal that we put our parents on as
yes,
kids,
yeah. So I didn't say anything for 6 months straight. No one knew.
So 6 months from that day.
Yeah.
6 months from the moment that you are exiting the room.
Yeah.
And it's like starting to make those decisions. Until the 6 months ends.
Yeah.
You are just here trying to keep this thing to yourself.
Yes. That's exactly what happened.
Yo, Saidy, how do you do that?
I don't know. I think as I grow, I become more of a baby, because as a child, I knew how to handle stuff.
You never got the chance to.
Yeah, now I will cry and fall apart. Now I will fall apart. When I was a child, I used to negotiate a lot with myself. Like, why am I doing this? How is it going to look? That was me.
No, but like, I commend you, because Bono bright young smile
Shut up.
like oh sharp Joe.
Yeah.
Like onto a lighter note. Ne? What's the youth planet game plenary? Ne?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
so plenary, they plan stuff. Do they plan stuff?
No, man. So when we go, so as an activist, we go to like conferences and stuff, right? So there are normally like sessions that are maybe held by young people, by like people under who identify as key populations. It just differs, right? So the youth plenary that I assume you're asking about, it was the one at the AIDS conference, right?
Yes.
Sure. So at the AIDS conference, they had a session that was highlighted by young people. It was supposed to start to like open up the conference. So I was a part of that. What we were doing, we were selected, and we had to come together with a concept of what we wanted to do to open the conference. So we had a lot of ideas, but the main one was for me to open the whole thing with my open letter. Yeah.
The open letter came 6 months later.
No, so the open letter came 4 years later. So I found out when I was 14, right? After 6 months, I told my family, but we all then went on to keep it a secret. Well, not really a secret, but we never spoke about it. So it was like an open secret where we know, but no one is saying
it's
nothing.
Like, okay, yeah.
Yeah. And then 4 years later, when I was then 18, I my health was deteriorating because I was
Yeah.
not doing anything. So obviously then Maya, it was also doing its own
No one
thing.
is getting stronger.
Yeah. So I then had to start taking medication. And now at 18, now Kiajola, like things have changed.
You know,
Right?
making more decisions now.
Yeah, and I'm
Yes,
older now. I'm just
yes.
like, whatever, young.
Ish.
And that was when I wrote the letter because now I was going through a lot of stuff and it was catching up to me because when they said ARVs, I was just like, people are going to know now.
I feel for the little Saidy
Yeah,
because like she was going through a lot.
Yeah.
Yo, she was going through too much.
She was.
Yo.
She was.
So okay, continue with the story. Yeah.
Yeah, so I wrote the open letter that time. I think it was just before I got on medication. I think so. I don't know if it was before or after, but it was around that time when I was starting medication. And because I was just going through so much, it was the first time I was speaking to my friends about it. The first time I was just speaking to people about it. So I used to write my feelings down. I used to write a lot as a kid.
So you're creative. That's what makes you cool.
Leave me alone. Leave me alone. I'm not cool.
You are.
I am, but I'm not. So, yeah, I used to write my feelings a lot down. And the open letter thing, I remember I was coming from Gotlinicking, and because I had these sores on my face, I remember I met a girl that I won't mention, obviously, and she was just like, and then when and that broke my heart so much because why?
And she's ignorant of.
Yeah,
she
because
doesn't
it's just
know.
like, I get it. It's just like, why? What's going on with your face? And because I knew what was going on, it just hit me harder.
Ish.
And I got home and I was just so miserable. And I was writing that letter, just crying. Right? Like it was literally an open letter to HIV. Like, because of you, I don't feel pretty. Because of you, I feel lonely. All these things that I wrote them in my bed in tears.
Yes.
So that happened when I was 18, and then the youth plenary thing happened when I was 22. So it's just, my life is intervals of 4 years. Everything is just happening in 4 years. Yeah. So when I was 22, I read it at the AIDS conference, and it was the first time I was reading it since 18. Because at 18, every time I'd read it, I'd cry. Even when I posted it on Facebook the first time, I posted it because I was just like, what did I just do? Right? And I went on with my day. I was just scared, right? So every time I'd read the letter, I'd cry, and I stopped. So when I was 22, it was the first time in a long time I was reading it, and I didn't cry. I didn't even shake. And I was very proud of myself. Like, as I was reading it, I was like, oh my God, I'm not crying. Rafeta, and I'm not crying.
Issue.
Yeah. So I was very proud of myself.
So, like, what's the plan? Or how do you then deal with it? Because now it's on a paper.
Yeah.
It's sitting next to you, like this book now.
Yeah.
What then?
Yes. So as I'm saying, I used to write my feelings down, and that's just because I didn't believe in therapy. It's quite ironic because now I do. But then I was just like, I'm not going to speak to people who get paid to listen to. So I didn't want to speak to anyone, but I knew I needed to speak to someone. And also I had a lot of issues with my siblings. I'm the youngest of 4, and I'm the only one who got HIV because I was born. Right? So I was angry at them. I was angry at my parents. I was angry at my aunt. I was just like, yeah, it's just boring, right? Even just growing up, mates were saying where it's just like, I've never seen just people who are just living with HIV. I've never heard, not even Gatsele. And that was a huge thing for me, because my thing is, I'm saying not even Gatsele, because even if there was details, I'd say, but what like you like one, but there was no reference. So in my head, I was just like, I am dying. That was I was literally waiting to die.
Yo.
Yeah.
Dude. So, the moment where you decide to start sharing it, kiteng moment to ke batlang go itse yo. Like, that's the defining moment. Right?
It is.
Because where was that? When was that?
Yeah.
Like, how was that? Even as you said you cried like the first time you read it.
Yeah.
Kids, Paint the scene for me.
Okay. So, number one, I'm very impulsive. I am too impulsive.
Yeah.
Like, I move like a 2-year-old sometimes. So, because I'm so impulsive, I appreciate it sometimes, right? This is one
It
of
works
the
out
moments.
sometimes.
It does, it does. And also, I'm a huge overthinker. So, it's just two contrasting things. So, if I have an idea and it's impulsive, either I do it now or I'm never going to do it.
Yeah.
So I wrote this thing. It used to make me cry, but it was in me. I was like, I want to share this one. I wrote so many things before, but I was like, this is the one I want to share. And it was a very impulsive decision. And I was just on Facebook one day, and I was like, I'm posting this. And at the time, I did not even have like a huge following. Yeah, it was just a Facebook page account, right?
Personal account.
Yeah, it was just a personal account where I just had my friends and whatever. But I was like, I want to post this thing and I don't want to think about it. So literally, imagine me in my bedroom, in my bed, with my Nokia Aisha. I think it was called Aisha.
Asha.
Asha.
Yeah.
With my Nokia Asha. And I was just like, I am writing this thing. And I pressed post. And I left my phone there. I remember that day my cousin was doing my hair. So I put my phone away and I was just like, really, let's braid this hair because I don't want to see the mess that's there. Because after I did it, I knew what had happened. And also, we all know social media, once it's out, it's out. So, Jay, there's no use in deleting Babu and Baboning. So let's just
So
let it
new
be
people,
there.
like there's a lot of other people that found out now that, okay, Saidy has HIV, what?
Yeah.
And now they're commenting and
Of
having
course, of course.
opinions
Yeah,
and
yeah,
questions.
yeah.
and-
Of course. Like, why I posted, you know, also when I started, it was like 2013, right? It was not as popular as it is now for people to come out on social media. So people were, more than anything, they were just confused. I feel like it was just confusion. They were very resistant to the change. And I think it was just because it's not something so it was just like, why is she doing this with her attention? What's wrong with her? Why we don't talk about these things?
Kind of, but we're supposed to keep these
Why
secrets,
everybody would say? Yeah.
Because black people are very secretive. No? Okay.
Yeah.
So why plus South Africa? What's that?
Yeah. So Y Plus South Africa is a network of young people in South Africa who are living with HIV. So the Y is youth, plus is positive. So it's like young people who are HIV positive in South Africa.
Okay.
So it's a global network. It has its like branches in different countries.
Oh, yeah.
And South Africa is the one that I am a part of.
What do you do there?
I used to work there as a provincial lead for Northwest. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I still, I would think I used to. Yeah, but like I used to be a Y Plus provincial lead for Northwest. That was really fun. Fun times.
How did that come about? The experience? Share a little bit of...
Yeah, so I spoke about sharing my story on Facebook, right?
Yeah,
So 4 years later, 2017. Yeah, 2017. One day I just woke up. I didn't have data to go on Facebook, and at the time there was this thing called Twitter for free Twitter for.
Oh yeah, for MTN.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm exposing my age.
You did get Asha, but you know, that's
Okay.
a story for another day.
Yeah. So there used to be free Twitter for MTN. And when I didn't have data for Facebook, because I loved Facebook, when I didn't have data for Facebook, I'd just go on Twitter just to scroll.
Yeah.
And the thing about how I post, not to make it deep, but I don't have a structure. I just post when I have an edge to post, right? So I had an edge that Friday night.
like-
I was just like, I want to post, but I don't have data to go on Facebook.
Yeah.
So I'm on Twitter, and I had like 100 followers or something. And I was like, let me just post here because I want to post.
Yeah.
And I posted, and I went to bed, and I woke up to, it's gone viral. Just like, what's going on? What is this? I didn't realize how big Twitter was,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I was just like, I don't know what this is. What's going on? And because of that,
Viral, it is alone.
go diragalang, guys. Right? And because I was getting so much attention from like journalists, I got a lot of like media attention at the time. then a lot of NGOs also grew like Wind of My Story. That is how people like Y Plus could like now approach me and work with me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So they call you up on some.
Yeah, like or like on social media, like, hi, this is what we do. What's going on?
Wow.
Yeah.
So the campaign is on a little covered 24/7. It's on
Yeah.
a feature as a result of
Yes. So
these people coming to you and
yeah.
wanting to work with you.
Yeah. So like something like Cover 27, it was also a very important one in my career, so to speak, because it was in 2020 during COVID, and actually that year I did 2 important campaigns. It was this one, and it was the HIV and COVID for UNICEF. I forgot what it was called, but it was for UNICEF. And those were important because when COVID hit, we were all confused. Even the wisest people in the world, we were just like, right?
Because now,
And we have no idea what this thing is, right? And now the thing about me is because of this community that I have on social media, when things like these break, people come to me. I'm like, I think I was like 24 then. I was like, I'm just a girl. I don't know. Linda, I'm scared, guys. You know, so people were like, what does this mean for us, people living with HIV? And I'm like, I'm also stressed for me. So doing things like Cover 24/7 and the other campaign, especially the other one, it taught me a lot about how to navigate as a person living with HIV. They did this Q&A thing, so people asked questions and they got professionals to answer them. So we would read out the questions and then read out the professional answers. So even in me doing that, I was also teaching myself. It was through that campaign where I was like, okay.
And now you are getting professional information.
Yeah. So that was, I was like,
relevant to you at that time.
okay. So I was also learning and healing. The Cover 24/7, it was also around COVID, but it was just to say, even when you're worried about COVID, don't forget to stay covered, in the sense that don't forget to keep on taking your ARVs. If you're HIV negative, you are on lockdown, it's nice, but like condoms, you know, like just be covered in whatever facet of your life, even through COVID.
Yeah, wow, that's now that you explained it, that's a smart.
Yeah, it was a very smart campaign.
Yeah, smart campaign. Wow. Hey, it's about.
Yeah, I try.
UNICEF.
Yeah.
Like, was that the only campaign that you worked with them on?
No. Damn. I can't think of them now. But like I've worked with them on some stuff. I've worked with them on quite a lot of stuff. Yeah. Sorry guys.
Saidy, a big deal, monsieur.
I try.
Yeah. There's no I try. Yeah. Big pressure.
Shut up.
So in the international community of women living with HIV, right?
Yeah.
You were part of the media team.
I was.
What role were you playing there?
So I was a part of their media team. I did a lot of social media stuff for them. So they are also like Y Plus. They are a huge network of women who are living with HIV in the world. Yeah. So I was fortunate enough to work with the actual global organization. I mean, now I've also now worked with the one from Eastern Africa, which is great. But I was very fortunate to start with the global one. So I did their I did their social I did their social media in, I think it was 2022. 2020 was such a nice year for me, and I was just like, what's going to happen now? Because the thing about lockdown is that we were all just like, what's going on? And
what's next?
Yes, and another thing that we don't speak about is the fact that there was and it's not just me. I've spoken to so many people who said there were so many opportunities that now they had to be postponed, put on hold because of COVID.
Some even cancelled.
Cancelled, right? So I didn't think like I was going to work as much as I did that year. I really worked, and I was shocked every time. I was just like, oh.
So you were one of the people that were moving even through COVID.
Yeah. Tried.
That's amazing. So, do you think that message was a push on your YouTube channel? is reaching the right audience?
I hope it is. Not just on my YouTube, because I'm very lazy for YouTube. I mean, I'm thankful there are some videos there, but I'm very lazy for YouTube.
Because it needs
so much
consistency,
right? Yeah. So I don't want to lie. I don't want to say I don't have the time. I don't. But mainly I think I'm lazy for YouTube. So the videos that I have there, I leave them. It's fine. But if I still get people who say, I saw you on YouTube, and they speak to me on other platforms, because it's been like 2 years.
Okay, now that I jump from YouTube to Twitter and Facebook.
Yeah.
Same question.
I think the thing is I'm no longer as active as I used to be, right?
Why not?
Because then I was having fun with it. I'm joking. I mean, I still do post, but if we are being very honest,
it's not as before.
Right? Yeah. And even when I do, it's just like also people like have ruined social media for me, because they have. Like, I post something and like, Saidy, why? And I'm like, bro, I can't even laugh. I can't even laugh with you guys. We are just serious. Yeah. So
too emotional.
Especially Facebook. And the thing is, I really love Facebook. Like, Facebook, that's where I'm just like...
That's where the fun is.
Yeah. It's like, Saidy, why? You know, this other time I posted pictures. You know that TikTok sound, give me one margarita, I'm going to open my legs. I posted pictures, and I wrote that. Everyone was just like...
No!
What is going on? In my head, I'm like, it's a TikTok sound.
They don't want you to be human now, because you are this big brand.
What are you doing? You know? So I no longer post as much as I used to.
That sucks.
It does. But I also get it, because I do think that also when I got into it that hard. So I think it's just the kind of thing where I did it a bit too much. And now when I try to say hi, they're like, stay there. Stay there.
You are perfect there.
So it's just like, it's fine. It's okay. I am still pushing. I am still pushing. I do still post my work. And it does reach the people that I need it to reach. I still speak to people on literally every day. There's a new message from a new person. I'm not even exaggerating, you know, and I speak to people. Some I even take to my WhatsApp. Like, it's a whole party there by my phone.
If you were to break free from what you've been speaking about, that this thing, what's the worst thing you would post? Just to spite even the people that are, you know, complaining about you posting a sound. Give me one margarita. I don't think I have the worst thing I'd post. I will tell you something though. So on Twitter they have this thing where, like, every other 2 months ARVs will trend, because like I found ARVs because my partner was hiding them. They have this thing where it's like, they'll have files kind of thing.
And they also like this conversation. You equals you. So you equals you is when you're undetectable as a person living with HIV, you can't pass on the virus.
What does it mean to be undetectable?
So when you're living with HIV, they normally focus on your CD4 count and your viral load. CD4 count is the strength or the weakness of your immune system. Viral count is the amount of HIV copies in your blood. So how not the ARVs? How not the ARVs? It stops the replication from happening.
So it lowers the viral count.
Yeah. So when it's suppressed, you can't pass on the virus, right?
Okay.
So a lot of people, myself included, are there, right? Because we take our pills. But now the conversation that is always happening on Twitter is, it's unfair for them not to tell us that they're living with HIV. And it's just like, I mean, sure, but like, it's also your business and it's your responsibility to make sure that you stay HIV negative. It's your responsibility too. So
because as much as
it's yours.
I'm saying why wouldn't you tell
It is
me?
yours. It's your responsibility. And I've seen this conversation happen for so long. And one day they said it, and I was just like, you know what? Actually, take care of yourself and leave us alone. And I just went on a rant on Twitter. And I think that was like the worst thing I've ever. It's not the worst, but it was the first time I was just like, actually, like, Lona.
Outraged.
Tag. Yeah,
Chuang.
Use condoms. There's PrEP. Do this. I'm not your nurse.
Can't be responsible for.
I don't want to be.
Yeah.
I'm making sure that I take my pills and I'm undetectable. I can't now care about you too. I mean, I can, but like, don't make it my burden. That's all I was saying.
You know, the least, because these things can be solved via communication.
They can.
And we tend to make them such a big deal.
Yeah.
And I think the lifestyle choices that as black people were into earlier, you were speaking about it being an open secret.
Yeah.
And or people maybe even shutting down on you for speaking about it.
Yes.
Right? We tend to always try to hide these, and they don't realize that the
whole stigma.
Informed about stuff like this and start having mob mentality or stigma, or what's the closest information that you have from these people that are also misinformed.
And like the craziest
think like them.
Yeah, and like I'm sorry to cut, but like the craziest thing about stigma that I believe is the fact that like people completely refuse to learn no matter how much you teach them, right? For instance, the whole U equals U thing, it happens and people are just like, Saidy or sure. Every time I'm like, I can't pass HIV, they're like, but when a woman who's living with HIV gives birth to an HIV negative child, no one is questioning that. Because it's also now I'm getting into activist mode.
Go at it.
I'm getting into activist mode. Because I do think that a lot of the stigma associated with HIV has to do with the fact that as human beings generally, we vilify sex. Right? Like we just act like...
That's why we don't talk to our kids about it.
No, we don't. Right? That's why now it's like when you're living with HIV, just because it's an STI, because it is, it comes natural to just judge people who are living with HIV, regardless of how they got it, regardless of their lifestyles. You just feel like they are not deserving of doing it. I can't even say, oh my goodness, I had such good sex. But someone can tweet that and it's cool. Dang.
Why is that, bro?
It's just because like it's stigma. That's what I'm saying. It has nothing to do with lack of information. It's just that people think, how dare you? Why do you think even when you would be that person? So stigma is so deeply rooted in just that no amount of education can change that. You have to change it your damn self.
But what then? Just what then? So male and guardian, how do you meet up with them? Through the social media thing.
Yeah, so the Male and Guardian Young 200 South Africans. Every year they have...
digital now?
No, they still do the whole thing where you go to Joburg and take pictures and you're on the newspaper.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was digital got 2020 because of COVID.
So,
Yeah, so every year they have top 200 young South Africans that they just profile.
Okay.
Right? In 2018, I was just having such a horrible year. And one day I just woke up to an email. So it works on nomination. Them. Yeah, it works through nomination. So I guess someone nominated me.
Shout out to whoever that is.
Thank
Do you know
you, sweetie. I don't know. To this day, I don't know. Wow. Thanks.
I can guess, Marge.
What?
I can guess, Rukima.
You can? Give her. I hope so. But it was someone, it's definitely someone who knew me enough to know my email address because they have to email you. So it's someone just here. Yeah. But yeah, I got an email and they're like, yeah, you've been nominated, you've been shortlisted. I think they used the word shortlist. You've been shortlisted. And I was like, okay, thanks. Yeah. Then that happened. also it was let me take you through that whole day.
Yeah.
Right. So they email me, I think a month before. And because they call it shortly, and I'm saying this because it plays a huge role in my story.
Yeah.
I think they said shortlist, and then they said don't announce it yet.
Okay.
Because Harry sure if you made on the list or not. Now nothing on or anxiety, or stress.
So it's like
So I can't stress you because I'm just like, you can't email me at one. I think it was happening like towards the end of June.
okay.
I'm like, you can't email me today. I have to spend the whole month being nervous at the fact that I could go all the way to Joburg and not make it on this list. Also, I'm
2 weeks before, a week
yeah,
before.
right. So I spent that whole month just so nervous about the whole thing. I didn't tell anyone, just because not because they said I mustn't, but just because I was scared or I might not make it on the list. Normally, I'm going to someone. Like, no one is going to but like I made it on the. I couldn't tell anyone.
Shucks.
Because I was just nervous at not making it on this list. And I remember before the actual day, there are journalists who call you to interview because they have to profile you, right? And I remember I was at my best friend's place, Tlori, in Joburg. And then this girl called me and she had the interview. Hi, Tlori. And we had the interview, and obviously she's my friend. She's like, what's this for? Now I have to be honest with her. So I told her, and I beat myself up about it because I'm like, if I don't make it on this thing, I'm also just I'm very hard on myself. So I'm just like, if I don't make it, and I mean, she loves me. Of course, she's gonna be supportive, but like, if you like, I'm gonna be a loser if I don't make it on this. I better make it on this list. So it was just a long month of anxiety. I also went to her house during those days. I went, I think, the day before the event. So I woke up from her. So she knew where I was going. The whole time I was just like, if I don't come back there with my name on that newspaper, I'm going to cry. But I did. And the great thing is, we realized later on, Jorge, there's not a short list. They use that word to just make you shut up.
Stay focused.
They just make you shut up because also it has to appear on the newspaper and people have to buy these newspapers. So if you announce, people are not going to buy them because buy is thing.
The element of surprise.
Yeah. And I realized that thing like literally on the day because I remember I was sitting with some girl because they said no plus ones. So you have to make friends there. So I met a girl and we just started talking. And I was telling her, like, I'm so nervous about not making it on this thing. And she was like, you know what? Me too. But I don't think they would invite us only to disappoint us. And when she said it, I was like, yes. Anxiety is such a yellow pizza because now it's just like, actually, one need because they wouldn't. Why? But like, for me to sing it for nothing. Yeah, so that was when I was like, actually, you're right. I've been never so quite But yeah, that was great. I was very happy to make it on the list.
So life after that. What's life after that?
Honestly, nothing. You know what? It's good because you can write it like on your profiles and it makes you look cool, like even when you have like interviews, they're like, so like, how was it? Like, oh, sweetie, I did that. I was 23 years old when I did that. I was a young person doing things.
Kitty perks.
It's like a perk. Yeah, but like I nearly mentioned another list. Let me keep quiet. But like it's a good perk, but like it doesn't come as like maybe money for it, if that's what you are thinking.
No. I'm like, maybe I'm asking that question and you just answered my question because the fact that you mentioned writing it in your profile means that it opens more doors for you.
Yeah.
Right? It's easier for you to,
Yes.
Yeah.
You are that person.
I can do this too.
Of course. Yes. So I am.
When on the streets you've met Oprah before?
Oprah? No, guys. No. No, guys.
So Yali Regional Leadership Center. What is that?
So Yali is also a leadership program.
You've worked with a lot of people, ne?
Yeah.
That, oh boss.
I try.
Oh boss.
Thank you. Yeah, they are a leadership program, and they have like these cohorts where you either do business, you do I did civic leadership, so I know that. There's either D3. I just forgot the other one. So you just choose whatever you want to do. I obviously chose civic leadership because I do activism, so that's where I'm focused on. It's fine. It's also just like the MG Young 200. It's good to say I did Yali. It's good to say I did Yali. Yeah, it's really good. I was doing an interview with a very prominent woman. It never aired, but we did that. And she asked about it. I was like, damn, out of all my things, it's like, I just want to know how you made it there. I'm like, I did that. So,
who's this prominent woman?
God. Yeah.
Maybe the Oprah thing.
No.
Such a rich.
I've never met Oprah. I've never even. She doesn't know of my existence.
Yet.
Yeah.
Mentorship programs. Keep on working the mentorship program that you're part of them, you know. And this one I especially resonated with because as a person who talking every day, trying to make whatever that I see here work.
Yeah.
Sometimes you run out of the mental juice, the spiritual juice, and sometimes the physical juice to execute and actualize the So the mentorship program, I think it's in handy at some
Yes.
times, you know. So
They do.
kids a thing, and how do you get in contact with them? How do you, or this specific to like
My work.
yes, or the kind of work that you do, or they're just like available for everybody where
Yeah.
because I need it a lot.
So some of them, they are not just for activists. I've done a few, and actually a lot of them are not just focused on HIV advocacy, and that was the biggest mind shift when I got into them, because I remember I did She Decides in 2020 and 2021.
Yeah.
And so they had a program called 25 by 25, where they had 25 young people from all over the world, I think. So I was the one in South Africa who were 25 years old at the time. So so when I got into that, I remember there was a girl who was speaking on FGM. It's called Female. Damn, I'm about to embarrass myself.
You forgot the
Female. I hate that I have to, and my phone is off. I hate that you know what, I'm going to send you that thing and you must edit Wekwalemo.
Okay.
Wekwalemo.
Remember it. Yeah.
Please
Maybe
do.
you live and remember it as you
I
say
will.
your story.
I forgot the G, but the M is mutilation. Where
Mutilation.
yeah.
Is it not genitalia?
Yeah. Oh my God. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, so
Thank
it's
you.
female genitalia mutilation.
Yeah. And she spoke about that, and it was the first time I was hearing of that, and I was just
Doesn't
like,
like sound like you look at
yeah.
What is
I don't want to laugh about this. It's a very serious thing, actually. So in some countries, they will. I don't think I'm well versed enough to speak about this, actually,
Okay.
and I don't want to.
Okay.
But like
Just
such things,
speaking, yeah, nothing.
nah.
Okay.
So such things got to teach me a lot about advocacy outside of just HIV activism. I also did another program called Tekano. It's here in South
Yes,
Africa.
yes.
Yeah. So they focus on health equity in South Africa. And as a person, Mo Tlarang Moitz was saying, living with HIV, I spoke a lot and I worked a lot around my advocacy work as a person who comes from here. So a lot of the programs that I do are not from Mogai. And every time I do things Mogai, most cases they don't get as much reception as I'd like to. And that's just because I think people are still not familiar with the work that I do. Not necessarily familiar, but I think they just don't get what I do.
Back Joel, Saidy. Saidy. So, every day, so they think like.
I don't think so. I just think they just
move
don't.
to the Bahamas.
No, shut up. I just don't think they resonate with the work that I do. And that's fine, because those who do, right? Yeah,
Facts,
yeah.
facts.
But also I speak a lot about growing up, Mito saying, as a person living with HIV, because I had to grow up here. And
It's a part of you.
yeah, and it was hard because, as I mentioned earlier on, there was no information about nothing, right? So them focusing on health equity speaks on things like that, things like not accessing things like PrEP. We are very fortunate that we have body ARVs there. I've never experienced a shortage, Mate was saying, but there are a lot of things they saw that should be there. So health equity focuses on that. It focuses on other facets, like for instance the linkage between poverty and HIV, that I also speak about a lot, where it's like, as a person living with HIV, and not just a person living with HIV, people generally, if you are on chronic medication, you need to eat before you take your medication. And we are going and they're like, you have to take these pills forever, but no one wants to know what you're eating, and sometimes there's nothing to eat.
And you can't take the pills.
And now you are stuck, because it's like, if I don't take the pills, they said I'll die. But also, if I take them,
Without
kisaja,
eating.
I'm going to get sick. So those are the kind of things that I did. It's not just focused on HIV advocacy, but it's linked.
You're an amazing person.
I try. Thank you.
Describe the best mental health environment. Because I saw you're big on mental health, right?
I am. I am.
What is the best environment for?
For a good mental health.
Yeah.
I just think, and it's a huge part
Both
of
internally and externally.
yeah.
That's
I just think that, and it's a huge part of why I do the work that I do. I think advocacy/activism is very focused on putting people at a space or at a point where they can just make decisions about their lives, regardless of how the decision looks on you. But just being able to say, this is what I want to do, and that's it, right? And I think that's a good space for a person to have a good mental health state. Just being at a point where you are unapologetic about how you feel, unapologetic about the things that you decide to do. So last year I got diagnosed with bipolar. I also, and let me tell you something. The stigma about mental health, you see it even in yourself, because when I started psychology, like therapy, in my head I was just like, of course, like, it's anxiety, because I am a very anxious girl, and I know it. And then I got
internally
there.
you feel it.
Yes. And I got there, and of course it's also there, it plays a role, but my psychologist said, you are showing signs of bipolar. And I laughed. Because of that stigma, because I was just like, what do you mean? Like, get up. You know?
Bipolar way.
What do you mean? And he was saying it's those kind of misconceptions that also make you shy far away from your healing. Because as society, we've made bipolar this thing where it's like Saidy what's in. You know? And I also saw it from myself, because I was laughing because I just thought, this is ridiculous. It can't be, you know?
And then normally people would like cry or whatever.
Yes, yeah, so it's literally two completely different sides of the pole, right? So I think another good state of being is to just be at that point where you've accepted it. I can speak about it because I'm not scared of speaking about it. I've spoken about it on social media too, because that's what I do. I've told people about it, because also I think a huge part of my healing comes from sharing the things that people wouldn't normally share. You know, I think if I was to keep quiet about the things that I go through, I would have a bigger chance of dying. Yeah. So fast forward, because I think I spoke about it like in June or something last year. Fast forward, I'm in a very good space. Like, I'm good, right? I still go to therapy. I still, take my pills. I still do all these things. But I'm in a very good space in my life. And I think...
That's nice.
Thank you. And I think a good mental state requires that. It requires support. It requires communication. It requires a lot of honesty, a lot of therapy,
You believe, get me to that. Therapy, like, what made you switch? Because you really initially you were like
Hated it.
fuck that
Hated
shit.
it.
And then after you
Yeah.
were more receptive to it.
Mm-hmm.
What changed?
I don't know. And I started in last year. It's the other year, 2022. So I've always known that I have like issues. I've always been a very suicidal kid, right? So these are the kind of things that I've
Are you an
spoken
introvert?
about. I think I am. I think I also have social anxiety. Yeah.
Okay, so another family.
Yeah. I also have social anxiety. So I'm very stay in the house. That's another thing. Ne? I wanted to speak about it here. The fact that you cool kids, ne? Mamita saying, you will make
Which cool kids?
Lona, the cool people. Mamita saying.
Cool mamba.
Lona. I'm giving more podcasting yabone. So they're saying a lot of cool like I feel like the entertainment space more high,
Yeah.
is so
The
good.
cool kids.
Yeah, of course. It's so good. Ne? And these are the kind of things where I see and I just yahala. But because I have social anxiety, I can't, And I always just feel like I wish there were other ways of having fun outside of groove. Because I'm not gonna lie, the events I've seen are amazing and they are very successful, and I see what they do for Batwa.
Yes.
Everyone involved.
Yes.
But I barely go anyway, and I also want to with the peeps, So I don't know. Also because I'm also not an events person like that, so I don't even know what I would do. That's the thing is what look comment about Saidy now reduring, and I don't know. Even I don't know, guys. But I'm just saying Rana Khanele because Rana level Saidy, and it's just like I wish.
Let me tell you something. It's like you have social anxiety and you like the thing, the event space is not your space. Funny thing about me, I have the same condition as social anxiety, but because I write, just like you, and I like music, so much so that I wanted to be a rapper. The moment I am on stage and performing in front of people, or maybe even the moment before, I would be freaking out and breaking and be like, these people, are they gonna like this song? Can they even hear? I'm overthinking. But the moment I get on stage, it's like, okay, I'm gonna get through the song. See if you guys like it or not. And then that works for me. You know? And I think that's a way for me to deal with the social anxiety and also be able to express myself. Because as a result of me not being able to express myself to people in any way about anything. I don't talk about at all.
I think the whole stage thing, because I also work as a speaker, I'm able to speak. I'm able to get on stage and do what I'm there to do. But as soon as I'm out of that state, I want to go home. I want to leave. While freaking out, I want to leave right now. I go to conferences, and conferences, normally they'll have media delegates. So sometimes you speak, and as soon as you are out, you have journalists who want every piece of you, and it's just
guys, chill.
I just want to leave. I want to leave this whole space. So I get the whole stage presence thing. I don't doubt my stage presence. I know that I can do that really well.
Yes.
And I don't know how, because as soon as I'm done, I'm just like, thanks. Let me go now.
I'm out.
Bye. It was nice. So guys, probably doing something. That picnic, something. Another thing outside of me just being involved is that I'm a huge supporter. I like supporting people.
And events can organize a picnic for you, but continue.
We must do that. I'm a huge supporter, and I like supporting creative Samakhai. So also I see things like those kind of events, and I'm just like, because I've never been there, I beat myself up at the fact that I've never been bought a ticket. But also it's like, I can't just buy a ticket and not do anything with it. So I'm not just being selfish, guys. I'm just saying I'd also like
Because you know you are a target market that is untapped, sharp.
Ntepe.
About tap.
No, that sounds so
Ah.
jokes.
Okay.
Kadala.
Okay. So with so much anxiety, go Elton John Foundation. How do you
Yeah.
function? How do you maneuver?
Yeah. So I just get into what I
Let's
need to
not
do.
tap us
and
in
leave. Guys.
So more.
Untapped. So, honestly, like the thing that I'm very proud of, Kanna, is that I do show up. And that's all that people need from me. People just need me to show up. So, for instance, the Elton John Foundation, they sent me an email and they said, girl, we are hosting a dinner and would you like to come through? And let me tell you a very short story about that whole thing. It's embarrassing, but I'll tell it anyway.
We love you too.
I got the email and I called my friend. I was speaking to my friend and I was telling her, I got an email from the Elton John Foundation. I came with it, but like the name sounds so familiar.
Little nerds.
Right? I'm glad because I've never met people who were like, you know, and she was like, are you serious? I don't know. And I mean, I know his songs, but I didn't know who he was.
Exactly.
Yes, yeah. She was like, Saidy, you can't say that. She was like, okay, now they call him Sir Elton John. Maybe you will know him. But I'm like, what
are you talking about?
Right? And before I even met him, like when we were having those meetings, because I was not just having dinner, I was also speaking there. So we obviously had to like
also, they asked you to be a speaker as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So when we were doing preps of the whole event, I remember this lady who had called me and she was like, so like the attendees will be there, like Elton John will be there.
Yes.
You know, and like you could hear in her voice that like they did that. No. And, you know, I was like, oh, he'll be there. Can't wait to meet her.
And you don't even know who he is at the time.
Yeah. And like so many people were just like, you were with Elton John. I'm like, damn, you guys really, really know him.
But I don't. Wow.
Yeah, even my aunt knows this man.
So he's old. He's an old musician, eh?
Yes. Yeah, he's been like he's a legend. He is.
Beats
he
me.
is. He's a legend. I now know his songs. I now know his songs because they also had that choir. There's this popular choir. I just forgot their name now. There's this choir, man. But no, is it Ndlovu Youth Choir?
No, I don't know them.
Podcast.
I'm so young.
I came to the right place because I'm as clueless as them. But no, I think they're called the Ndlovu Youth Choir.
Okay.
And they also were there and they sang some of his songs and I was like, oh, okay, this is him. But like, yeah, it was a really nice experience. It was.
Nice. That's nice. So, United Nations and WHO?
Yeah.
The World Health Organization?
Yes. Hey. Wait till last year was such a movie in my life. I don't want to lie to you. And I was going through it.
These are big organizations.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah.
The thing about last year is that I was going through it. I really was.
While working.
So much that I don't think I was present for a lot of things.
Yeah.
How
do you navigate that?
So the UN and WHO, in March last year, they had the General Assembly that they have every year. So it was on Zoom. I was a panelist. I spoke and I kept on flaking my words because last year I was going through it.
Yes.
And it was so hard that even speaking was hard for me last year. And I would want to cry every time because I know that I'm a good speaker. I know that. I know I'm a good speaker. So you know when you know you are good at something and so you can see yourself just flopping all over the place. It's like, yo, guys. So I had a lot of those incidents last year, right? So I was a panelist and I spoke, and I kept on flaking my words. And the more I do it, the more I overthink it. So now, obviously, it's now just going to be just, you know. So by the time I was done doing that, I was on Zoom, so I just put off my camera and I was just like, yo, I'm so tired of this. But then everyone who came after me would like quote me, like I said, just I'm like, okay. And then after the session, I went on Twitter, and so many people were so impressed with what I was saying, and I was just like, I even told my friend, I was like, I don't know what just happened because I didn't think I did well at all. And there was a lady so we were working together. She was speaking from a perspective of an older person, and me from a younger person. And because we were working together, after the event, she texted me on WhatsApp. She was like, you did well. I was like, so I just thought she was being motomotona, you know, like, I was like,
just, you know,
yeah, because I thought everyone could see that I was going through hell. So she was like, you did well. I'm like, thank you. And then she was like, how do you feel? Because she was that proud. So she was like, how do you feel, girl? In my head, I'm just like, in my head, I'm like, she obviously saw that insecure bias, so she wants to know where my headspace is. So I said to her, you know what?
Talk about misreading the
yes.
like,
Also, it's texting. It's texting, right? So again, now I go off a tangent. You know what? I know that I messed up the whole thing, but I tried my best. She's like, no, everyone is so impressed. I'm like, they are? It's like, yeah. And I left it. I left the whole thing. A month later, so it was last year in March. A month later, April, I get an email from these people saying, we are having almost the same thing, but in person, in Geneva. And we want
where
you
is
there,
Geneva?
in Switzerland. And we want you to come there because we were so impressed. And I think that was when I was like, yeah.
Wow.
That was when I was just like, oh, Lisirasi.
And
Yeah, but like wow, and like they worked so hard to get me there.
Wow.
Because they approached me. I think like it was like 3 weeks before the whole thing, right? And obviously a Schengen visa will take its own time to just happen. And I was just thinking, I don't even think I'm gonna get a visa on time. They called me, I think a week before. They got back to me a week before. I left it because I was like, I don't think I'm gonna go there.
Because the visa thing is just too much admin.
Yeah. And I got the admin. Go, we didn't go one kid.
Nobody does.
I hate.
Nobody likes admin.
So when they called me, I was like, yeah, but like it's happening next week and I don't think it's gonna happen for me. And that lady was like, no, we have to call them and see if we can't try to get you an expedited one. I'm like, okay. Yeah, we tried. The next day I was all over the internet trying to understand how I could get to the embassy. I remember they even said I would get it. I think they said I would get an interview like a few days before. I think they said like 5 days before. And I emailed them saying, guys, find someone else because I won't be able to. Because I think it takes like 2 weeks. So I was like 5 days before, it's not happening. They said, no, sweetie, it's the UN and the WHO.
Like, if
You
they say
go
you're
get
coming
it.
through, you're coming through.
Yeah, so that happened. And it was very humbling to even see how much they worked to get me there. I was just like, okay, thanks.
That's
Thank
how,
you.
like, come on, Saidy.
Yeah.
You were Saidy.
No. Shh.
What's your real name?
Said.
Fella?
Yeah.
Or the Brown?
Yes.
That's your full name.
Pinky. Saidy Brown.
Okay. Kopa WhatsApp break ne? WhatsApp
Okay.
break.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll be back. 2 seconds.
Bye, guys.
Yeah. Yo. Let's go. N-O-Y-A-L.
Yeah.
S-A-I-N-T.
We are back.
Back.
Dumelang gape. Can I make announcements?
Yeah.
Before. This episode is sponsored by the Spear. Shout out to y'all for buying. For all those who are buying, no dilasi. Should I what message?
Okay, bad.
Get 250.
Okay.
Thank
Thank you.
It's like black and white. So.
Okay.
Oh yeah, there's something that I saw, especially for the creative. Let me check something. Okay, especially for our creatives, ne? The creative taruna. The Ultimate Talent Search is back. Northwest, Yanga Kamudira Molema, and all of these regions that we have in Northwest. It's gonna come to Ngakamudira Molema on the 10th of March. A poster. There's a website where you can register, and then you can go to the auditions. I'm hoping to interview a couple of people on that day. I'll try to shoot an episode. Impossible. I'll just take snaps of what will be happening because I'll be there for the audition. I'll be auditioning for the second time. Last year I didn't make it. I'm hoping that I'll make it this year. I'll perform one of my new singles. Let's see if Spanish is clear. Spanish. Also, Sandra Energy Solutions. There's a new company that it's called Sandra Energy Solutions.
Yeah.
These people, what they do, you consult with them. They check if you can qualify for the incentive, the tax incentives and the funds. Thing I don't remember.
Yeah.
For a company thing, I still haven't gotten the time to check. If you qualify for solar panels at your house.
Okay.
So the qualification is I will check whether you can afford to pay them guys a certain fee a month or you can afford to pay for it in full. And as soon as they can confirm whether you afford it or not, similar install without any out-of-pocket money from the beginning.
Yeah.
So you can have solar panels without paying for them yet. And then you start paying while they start or when they start generating power.
Okay.
Wow. So
Yeah.
the company is local. The company is here. I don't know where it's based in the Northwest, but it's here in the Northwest. So it's accessible to us as well. I think if you can search it, okay, tall.
Yeah.
On Facebook, you just Sandra Energy Solutions. You want to have page in your bank Belladon.
Okay.
So look for it there. What am I forgetting? Guided events, organizers events. Ke gopola khanteleng tsu bua ka di go target market events tse ba di dirang nou yana re na le guided events they can organize events especially for you. If Saidy, you want to organize a picnic with your friends, you can call us up on some, I have a budget, I have these many friends, but I don't want to deal with the admin of like catering for these people.
Yeah.
I want to, relax and enjoy with them. So can you guys come and deal with it? We can do that. And they also have this thing called Guided Events Plus, where we shoot music videos for people, the artists, we help them build their own brands, especially because we live in the TikTok era, where people believe in what they see more. It's easier to build a brand, guided visuals, especially if you're starting. If you shoot a music video or two, your brand grows, your views and whatever. So. Yeah, release a music video. If you have a friend who's an artist, wants to be a rapper, tell them to hit me up on some.
It's like a young 16.
Call us 16,
a young 16, just to.
El pasó que body, yeah, call us 16.
Okay.
So we met.
Yeah.
That's you right there, ne?
Yeah.
What's up with you? We met her.
So we met her. I started it with a friend of mine. She actually came up with the whole concept. Then we started working together. So it was inspired by, there was a story of a child who committed suicide because he was being bullied koskolo because he was gay, right? So my friend then had this idea of starting this NGO and this movement where we go to schools, we go to communities, and we teach them about things like bullying. Of course, because now she works with me, then it has to also tie into my work. So we also would speak to people about HIV stigma, how to navigate a life with HIV, but also focusing on matters of people in the queer community. So that was a huge thing. We started last year, and we had 2 events last year.
Okay.
The first one, it was called Umlazi, where we had young people. I think they were from like 9 years old to like 18 or 19. It was a nice event. Neki Kuluma. Neki Kuluma, because it's a community thing and you have to adapt. So I had to Kulums a bit. and of course they understood because basically Motswana, and I tried to tap into English, but like I tried to also Kuluma. Kancane. Yeah. And another one that we had was the mental health month in September, so the suicide prevention week. That Saturday we had a picnic Gozu Lake with a few young people, and it was a cute picnic where we were just speaking about our issues and just how to cultivate a community amongst ourselves, to just be there for one another, you know, how to talk people to speak to. So that's the kind of thing that we are trying to establish with We Matter. And yeah, it's great so far, so good.
Did those shows have budget? Did you, because or you did that out of your own capacity?
Yeah, we did. So
was it out of pocket money?
Yeah, because it sounds relevant. So
how was that?
Hey, it's very heavy to do things out of your own capacity, but also a lot of community engagement work requires you to not just I feel like everything that you work on, it requires you to put in the work, and then people can say, actually,
we can help you out.
Yeah, but at first you need to do stuff alone, Bailey. So it's hard, but you just have to get it done.
So it's more business thing, or maybe keep business learn. But now I'm just really excited about this part. Mexico, bro.
Yeah. Mexico. Yeah. That happened.
Firstly,
it was nice. It was really nice. It was surreal. But also I have.
So you're Spanishing now?
No.
You're not Kulu anymore. Yeah.
No. I was just talking, guys. I was talking.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was really nice. I think a lot of the times when I'm traveling, I hardly feel like I'm traveling. Like there's a few places where I'm at and I'm like, wow, I'm really like away from home. Everything else just feels like I'm just home. But Mexico was one of those places where I was like, I really am not home. I am so far away from everything, you know. It was really nice. It was a good learning experience. We did a lot of learning too. Good thing. We got to learn about their culture, learned about their queer culture as well, because it was so the convening was called Right to Be Human.
Right to be human.
Yeah, as in we have the right to be human. Yeah. So also it had to do with a lot of like engagements and just sharing our workspaces, sharing what we do, how we can learn from one another, how we can collaborate moving forward. It was a good space. It was a very nice thing to be a part of.
That's nice. San Francisco?
Yeah.
So I'm like, before, Mexico.
What does that mean?
Like something.
No, guys.
Souvenir.
No, sweeties. No, sorry. Just like hey.
San Francisco.
Eric Kingsley, because let's just have some Kingsley and keep it moving. San Francisco happened. San Francisco happened, right? Because I do amazing work. Yeah, in HIV prevention. So I also, we went there for our annual in-person meeting. And it was great because this is a program where it's focused on the microbicides. So it's like HIV prevention methods, but not your normal PrEP or PEP. It's like injectables, your rings.
Yeah.
So it's those kind of things. And the study that I'm currently working on focuses on trying to like develop those kind of interventions. So it's always a good learning experience. I was very tired because next time from Mexico when we went there.
Also, you guys just crossed from Mexico to America. Too.
No, I had to come home because family things also. So, and that was another thing. I had to come home because I had to do family things and go back. I was so tired.
Yes.
Also, I got there and it was winter. So I got there, I feel like it's like flu because why is it cold? It was literally November. It was burning. I had flu. So I was also I barely enjoyed San Francisco because I would just wake up to go work and come back to sleep. I mean, normally, yes, but like I was in America. I'm sure I would have tried to do something, but I couldn't. I was just sleeping.
Because it was fucking cold.
It was, and I was sick, and I was also honestly tired. But it was nice. It was really nice. Another thing that I really liked about that thing, so you know how they make us these name tags at these events, and mine, go America. Mine said, Saidy Brown, it's a saying South Africa. I was so happy. It didn't just say South Africa. It said
oh my God.
When I saw that, I was like, yeah.
My God.
I was so happy. I was so happy. I was so happy. Like, I don't want to lie. Nothing makes me proud like saying Getalgo is a saying. It makes me so proud. Even at Mexico, we obviously would do these things where it's like we introduce ourselves. So they were like, say your name, say where you come from and where you currently stay. And a lot of people were, and I mean, I'm not bashing them, but a lot of people would be like, I come from this place. I won't say it because you guys don't even know how to pronounce it. But now I live in Joburg, or now I live. And I said, I will say it for you. You must know for it. Nah, it's a say.
It's like, wow, like
yeah.
I know, I like that.
Yeah. So I was very happy about that.
Yo, Lena would have been like...
Yeah. I took a picture of it. I was just like, yay, okay. Yeah, we are there.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice. So the public health conference in Africa.
Yeah. That was also great. Hey, I worked last year. Hey?
Yo. Now I'm wondering, at what point was Saidy living and sleeping?
Hey, guys.
These many.
The thing about this conference is that by that, it was towards the end of November. By this time, I was so tired. Like, I was so tired. But it was a nice conference too. I was a speaker at the conference. I had only one session, but I obviously had to attend the conference, right? So I did that. It was in Zambia, so it was not a long. It's like 2 hours, so it was not a bad flight. I still had flu from San Francisco.
So you could.
No. No.
Yes.
Yeah, but it was nice too. It was really nice. I remember my speaking points, I was very nervous about them because we hadn't had, I think I had missed the 2 prep calls because I was busy with other stuff. So when I had to prepare for my speaking points, I was nervous because I was like I just like having things in control. So I was like, I hope I don't say things and they don't align with the program. But it was so good. It was so good. Yeah, it was really, really nice.
What was that about? Like So
it's you know how earlier on we were speaking about the AIDS conference. The public health conference speaks about public health holistically. So you have different sessions on different things that affect people's health. But I was on a panel speaking about prioritizing self-care in the work that we do, right? And since last year with my mental health issues, I've been very intentional about speaking about self-care. Another good thing about my activism life is the fact that because I started with my story. So everything that I advocate for are things that I go through. So first of all, Milk was a failure because I'm always just speaking about my life as it progresses. And it's honest because I can say this is what I'm going through. And I'm not lying. Yeah, so it was just about that.
That's nice. So inside education,
yeah.
Yo, when I'm you're a millionaire.
No.
What husband going to get millionaire?
No, guys, I'm paying. Donate that.
That's exactly what a millionaire would say.
No. Start on crowdfunding. Limp something. So inside education, it's also a list like MG and 200. So they have a list called 100 South African Shining Stars. So they also release it every year. So they also were just like, girl,
Pull
we
up.
see you. Yeah,
The work that
you're
you were
one of
doing.
you're one of our 100 Shining Stars for this year. Yeah, so it was a cute close up to the year. Because it happened in December. It was nice. I first of all, I hardly ever expect these accolades, right? Also because when
you
I
deserve them.
Thank
Stop
you.
doubting that you deserve them. You do.
Thank you. No, it has nothing to do with me doubting. Honestly, I feel like how my life has turned out, and just like work-wise, I never could have imagined that, right? Especially because when I started speaking about my status, it could end up being like something I can work in, and it could be a career, so to speak. So I was just saying, guys, there's HIV and let's stop acting like there isn't. So a lot of the things that I achieve, it's always, I'm always shocked. I'm like, thanks. Thank you so much. Yeah, but also that could also help me tap into another conversation of just knowing how to appreciating the growth in my career. Because when I started, I was young. I was like 21 going on 20 when I started like getting work serious. I was like 21 going on 22. Even the tweet that I mentioned earlier on, it was not planned, as I said.
Yeah.
So I could never have expected everything that came after that. And that comes with a lot of mistakes. It comes with a lot of drama, because some things you do, you don't even think that you were supposed to be paid for. You don't think you were supposed, you're still a child, so you're just happy. But like, yeah, so the growth has also helped me in like navigating stuff and just being present and knowing what this means and if I want to do this or that.
Yeah, Osler. Like, you're powerful.
Thank you.
You're a very powerful woman.
Thank you.
Saidy.
I don't know. I really just wake up and try every day.
Oh no, you're killing it.
Thank you.
You're killing it.
Thank you.
Conrad. What's Conrad? Conrad sounds like some colonel who kills people. Skaka. Colonel
man.
Conrad.
Alright. No, so like with the study center, is the one in San Francisco. It's the same thing with Conrad. They have an accountability board that I'm a part of. It's called Project Engage. So it's the same thing. It's also on HIV prevention and just trying to get people onto like injectables. So the goal with HIV prevention is to so we're trying to make it cool, right? We are not trying to get people HIV positive, right? Of course. And with the work that we do, we realize that PrEP is very important, and PrEP is it's life-changing. For someone like me who's already living with HIV, I'd give anything to take PrEP. But someone like you who's not living with HIV feels like, why do I need to take pills if I get wali?
No, but it's keep prevention again.
Yes. Yeah, but people still like feel like I don't want to take these pills. So we try
prevention means like
people don't care, but people don't want pills if they don't have to. So the best part about HIV prevention work is that there's always work to make sure that it appeals to people. And there's also a huge conversation around choice and options. And that also helps because, for instance, I don't like needles regardless of what you might see. I'm very scared of needles. So even if there was to be, let's say, like injectable ARVs in South Africa, I don't know if I probably would, but I don't think I'd be excited at the thought because I'd still prefer pills. But there are people who don't want pills and they would prefer injectables. So HIV prevention work is worthwhile in that sense, that there's always work to be done on. Like we're trying to make sure that, guys, if how about the injectable, you can have the pills. If how about the pills, you can have this or
Options.
that. But like get into it. Yeah.
Saving a lot of lives, no?
Yeah.
The Civil Society Advisory Group.
Yeah. So honestly, these groups are all just HIV prevention groups. They all are just HIV prevention groups.
And you are playing a pivotal role in all of them. So they are part. You are basically the mafia of these. Sharp. 'Cause you work with these people, and I bet Hasidi like the society di bereka tsohle.
Yeah.
But you are now obereka le tsone tsohle.
Yes.
So it means the picture of this prevention and the picture of creating a negative society is with you. The blueprint is with you.
Not even with me, but like I want you to look at it this way. A lot of like when the whole HIV activism started, the concept was to say there's life la phela ka HIV, right? So a lot of HIV activists used to be people living with HIV, right? And for us to get to a point, not just me, for us to get to a point where we even work in HIV prevention, first of all shows how committed we are to the HIV cause regardless of the status, right? And it also shows, I have a mentor, Auntie Yvette, who likes saying working in HIV prevention as a person living with HIV also just shows how courage you are, because first of all, we will never get access to these things. Like we are there fighting, and we'll never even experience how taking PrEP feels like. You know, so yeah, I feel like it's a very important work. And that's another chat I always have about the stigma chat, right? Going back there, where I feel like if we were all to come together and see HIV as a human problem, not as a Saidy problem, because like HIV, we would have moved so far. Because then people shy away from working together because they feel like, first of all, if they see me, they say, you know, it's like it's a lot of those like pisang.
So, and then all of them are just like very shallow.
It's boring.
It's like
right?
dumb.
But now imagine if we, as people living with HIV, with all this access, were not pivotal, or we were not encouraged to want to speak about HIV prevention. Imagine if we just said, as long as we have ARVs, we don't care about and them. But imagine where it would be. You know, so yeah, I just think that we just need to see HIV as a human problem, not as a Saidy problem, because it is.
And even as you say, I might not be living with it, but I might have a family member who is.
Yeah.
You know, so whether ke batla go nna aware or not, I have to.
Yeah, you have to.
So it's a human problem. It's not something say I can choose to just give attention whenever I feel it necessary. In a space where really aware of the things that, you know, affect us on a daily basis. And I commend you for that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have anything to plug?
No. No, I don't think so.
Saidy Brown brand coming soon.
Oh my God, no, guys. Kidna Saidy ne, kidna me to sing. That's it. Follow me if you can. That's it. That's it. Just follow me if you'd like to. But Keshap, I'm very happy that I got to come to podcast the Abanaba Cool.
Abanaba Cool.
Yeah.
Sounds so sarcastic.
No. No. I swear, like I was just like, what am I gonna do there? And then I saw the links and the episode, and I was like, these people are so cool. I'm a huge fan of them, and I'm like, okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much,
guys.
Thank you so much for coming through, man.
Thank you.
I really
for having
appreciate
me.
you. I appreciate your presence in the pod. And on that note, see you guys on the next one.
Bye.
It's a podcast.